Beloved, do not move from this place. What is about to be spoken over you was prepared before this moment arrived. And if you feel something stir in your chest right now, that is not coincidence. That is confirmation. You have been walking through a season so heavy that even your silence became a prayer, and heaven heard every word of it. Stay. What I am about to reveal will not just comfort you. It will reframe everything you thought was going wrong in your life and show you that it was, in fact, going exactly right. You passed the hardest examination ever placed before your soul. And here is what will shake you. You did not even know you were being tested. Comment, heaven sees me. Right now, if you believe this word is for you. Think back to the moment when someone wronged you and you held your tongue when the fire in you wanted to speak. Think back to the night you lay in silence. No music, no conversation. Nothing between you and the weight of everything unresolved. Think back to the morning you got up anyway. Not because you felt strong, but because something deeper than strength told you to keep moving. Those were not small moments. Those were the questions on the examination, and you answered every single one correctly. When the people you trusted pulled away and left space where warmth used to be, you were being measured. When opportunity after opportunity seemed to pass you by, while others around you appeared to advance without effort, you were being evaluated. When you knelt down in that quiet room with nothing polished to say, no rehearsed words, just a broken and honest heart reaching upward, you were being observed. And the result of that observation is this. Your character did not fracture under pressure. Your spirit held its shape even when everything around was bending. The test was never about what you lost. It was never about the job that disappeared, the relationship that ended, the door that closed without explanation. It was about who you became while standing in front of those closed doors. And who you became is someone worth trusting with what comes next. You thought you were simply enduring another difficult chapter. You thought this was just life being unkind, just a streak of bad luck, just another disappointment stacked on top of the ones before it. But every single thing you walked through was being weighed. Your patience was being measured against the pressure placed on it. Your faith was being tested in the exact moments when faith seemed most foolish. Your heart was being examined for cracks of bitterness. And when the inspection was complete, the result was declared outstanding. Not outstanding because you performed perfectly. You stumbled. There were days when doubt filled more your mind than faith did. There were nights you questioned everything. Outstanding because through every stumble, every moment of doubt, every tear you wiped away in private so others would not carry the weight of your struggle, you kept returning. You kept reaching. You kept choosing to believe that something greater was at work even when you could see no evidence of it. That persistence is what set your score apart. Before we go further, if this is reaching something real inside you, please like this right now so that someone else walking through their hardest season can find this word too. I want to speak about the things you kept hidden. The smile you put on in a room full of people when underneath you were carrying a weight that would have buckled someone less seasoned. The way you showed up for others when your own life needed tending. The kindness you extended to people who had not been kind to you. The moments when anger would have been completely justified, and yet you chose restraint. Those choices were not weak. They were the evidence of a refined character, and they did not go unnoticed. Heaven saw the tears that fell when no one else was in the room. Heaven recorded the prayers you whispered when you were not sure anyone was listening. Heaven watched as you helped someone else move forward while your own feet felt stuck. Every one of those invisible acts was building something inside you that no visible success could have constructed. You were being formed, and formation requires pressure. You felt the pressure. What you may not have felt was the shaping that was happening inside of it. There were moments when you felt completely forgotten, when it seemed like the world moved forward and left you behind the rope with no explanation and no timeline. In those moments, the feeling of being overlooked was real, and I am not dismissing how much it hurt. But being overlooked by the crowd and being overlooked by heaven are two entirely different things. You were never overlooked by heaven, not for one breath of one day. When a student completes a rigorous examination and the results confirm excellence, what follows is advancement, not a return to the same classroom, not a repetition of the same material. Advancement, a new level, a new capacity, a new set of responsibilities matched by a new set of resources. That is a framework for what is beginning to happen in your life right now. You may not see a dramatic, sudden shift all at once. You may begin to notice subtleties first. A direction becoming clearer where confusion once lived. A sense of peace settling over situations that used to produce only anxiety. A conversation that opens a door you had stopped expecting to open. A reconnection, a resource, a realization that aligns exactly with where you're trying to go. Do not dismiss these as small. They are the early signs that the examination phase has concluded and the advancement phase has begun. The season of being tested in private is giving way to the season of being established in the open. What was formed inside you in the hidden places will begin to express itself in visible ways. The steadiness you developed will be recognized. The wisdom you gathered through difficulty will be sought. The compassion you maintained while you yourself were hurting will make you a voice that people lean toward. Type "new season" in the comments if you are ready to step into what is next. Let us be precise about what the test actually produced inside you, because understanding the fruit of your trial will protect you from undervaluing it. The first thing it produced is discernment. You now see differently than you did before. You read situations with a sensitivity that was not there before the hardship. You sense misalignment more quickly. You recognize what is genuine and what is performance. That is not paranoia. That is wisdom purchased through experience. The second thing it produced is resilience. There is a version of you from before this season that would have been flattened by what you are now navigating with calm. The things that used to shake your foundation now land on you differently. You absorb setbacks without losing your footing. You face uncertainty without falling into panic. That is not small. That is transformation made practical. The third thing the test produced is depth. You are no longer a surface-level person in a surface-level faith. You have been somewhere difficult. You have sat with unanswered questions and still chosen trust. That depth makes your words carry weight. It makes your presence stabilizing to others. It makes you someone who can hold space for people in their hardest moments, because you know what those moments feel like from the inside. And the fourth thing it produced is gratitude that is no longer conditional. You have been in a place where you had almost nothing except the choice to keep believing, and you made that choice. So when blessings arrive now, they will not be taken for granted. They will land on a heart that knows what it is like to stand in the middle of empty and still call the empty good. That kind of gratitude is rare, and it is one of the most powerful magnets for continued favor. There are things you prayed for that did not arrive, and the absence of them felt like rejection. I want to address that directly. Some of what did not come was withheld because the timing was not right, and rushing it would have cost you more than the delay ever did. But some of what did not come was withheld for your protection, and you would not have seen it as a threat at the time, which is exactly why the protection was necessary. The relationship that did not work out would have redirected your energy away from what you're being positioned for. The opportunity that fell through would have placed you in an environment that would have limited rather than expanded your growth. The door that closed had a hallway on the other side of it that led somewhere you were not meant to go. These were not losses. These were redirections. And standing where you stand now, with the clarity that your trial has produced, you may already be beginning to see that. Trust also means trusting the things that were withheld. It means believing that the one who sees the full map is capable of reading it better than the one who can only see the current step. You have proven that you trust in the silence. You have proven that your faith is not contingent on receiving exactly what you ask for exactly when you ask for it. That kind of trust is now being honored. If something in this word is speaking to a specific situation you've been carrying, like this video, so the message reaches someone else in the same position, being chosen does not mean being exempt from difficulty. It means being entrusted with it. The people who carry the greatest purposes are often the ones who walk through the most rigorous preparation. You were not sent into fire as punishment. You were sent into fire because fire is what removes impurity from gold, and you were always intended to shine. You are not chosen because you performed every moment with precision. You are not favored because your faith never flickered or your patience never wore thin. You are chosen because when the flame inside you grew small, you cupped your hands around it and refused to let it go out. That is faithfulness. And faithfulness is what moves heaven to act on someone's behalf. The version of you that emerged from this trial is not the same version that entered it. You are steadier. You are clearer. You are less impressed by what is loud and more attuned to what is true. You have developed an inner compass that external pressure can no longer easily disrupt. That compass will guide your next steps with precision that is not accidental. One of the most visible signs of this new season will be a shift in the connections around you. Some relationships that felt permanent will begin to feel finished, not with conflict, not with dramatic endings, but with a quiet sense that the season you shared is completed. Release those with grace. What is leaving is making space. And into that space, new connections will come. People who carry the same depth you now carry. People who understand what it means to have been through something and come out different. People whose purpose intersects with yours in ways that will feel almost too perfectly timed. Those connections are not coincidences. They are assignments. You'll also find that existing relationships deepen. The people who stayed with you through the difficult season will enter this next one with you, and the bond that formed under pressure will prove itself durable. Honor those connections. They were tested too, simply by staying, and that loyalty has value. Comment, I trust the process. If you are releasing what needs to be released and making room for what is coming, as you step into this new chapter, carry the lessons without carrying the weight. There is a difference between wisdom gathered from a hard season and bitterness dragged from one. Wisdom informs your future. Bitterness distorts it. You have earned wisdom. Leave the weight behind. Stay anchored in humility. What is coming requires a heart that can hold favor without being changed by it in the wrong direction. The reason you can be trusted with greater influence is precisely because the trial taught you that you are not the source of your own strength. Keep that awareness close. Let it be the thing that keeps you grounded when the landscape around you begins to look more like what you once only dreamed about. Move with patience, even in the acceleration. When things begin to open, there will be a temptation to rush, to capture every opportunity, to make up for what felt like lost time. But pace yourself. Not everything that appears is aligned. Your discernment will tell you the difference. Trust it. The season of grasping is behind you. The season of receiving what is prepared for you is ahead. Keep your spirit nourished. The intimacy you developed with heaven during the trial was not a product of desperation alone. It was a genuine deepening of your relationship with the source of your life. Do not allow the return of comfort to thin out that connection. The closeness you found in the difficulty is meant to be the foundation of everything that follows, not a season that gets left behind when the sun comes out. Hear this clearly as we close. The examination is finished. The evaluation is complete. The grade has been recorded, and it is excellent. You are not being retested on the same material. You are not circling back to what you already passed through. You are being positioned. And positioning is an entirely different experience than testing. Testing asks, can you hold under pressure? Positioning says, here is where your holding will matter. You have answered the question. Now you are being placed. And the placement is intentional, specific, and carefully aligned with who you have become through the process of becoming it. The next days and weeks may carry signs. Pay attention without becoming anxious about them. A shift in your inner weather, a peace that does not seem to match your circumstances, an unexpected favor, a door that swings open before you have even raised your hand to knock. These are confirmations, not coincidences. Receive them with open hands and an unhurried heart. You walked through fire. You came out refined, not destroyed. You endured silence. You came out with wisdom, not bitterness. You faced rejection. You came out with clarity, not cynicism. Every single thing that tried to break you ended up building something in you that now cannot be shaken. This is not the end of your story. It is the entrance into the chapter the earlier ones were always preparing you for. Heaven is proud of the way you carried yourself in private. Heaven is pleased with the faith you kept when keeping it was hard. And now what was built in the hidden places is about to be revealed in the open ones. You passed. Now walk into what that means. Comment, "I receive it," below and share this with one person who needs to hear that their suffering has not been wasted.